So I just got done looking at the movie, the 90s movie, 90s and urban movie, Menace to Society. And some of the main stars of the film were both Tyrone Turner and Lorenz Tate. So the movie first kicked off showing how toxic a younger version of Kane upbringing was. Kane, who was played by Tyrone Turner, because it was pretty obvious that it was a kid, another kid playing the much younger version of himself and showing his upbringing. As a matter of fact, his parents were throwing a party while he was a small kid, and he had to end up being raised around people by the likes of con artists / scammers, drug dealers / hustlers, I'm trying to say, even drug addicts, murderers as well. A perfect example will be on behalf of how Samuel L. Jackson, who played as the much younger version of Tyrone Turner's character Kane, how Samuel L. Jackson murdered one of his friends at the table back when they was having a card game together. And this is a perfect example as well. Let me pause for a minute because somebody is walking past me. This is also a perfect example on behalf of how and why there are so many black guys when so much anger instilled in them, so much rage instilled in some of them. The reason so many black guys choose to pursue the streets once they get older, from the time they may be in middle school until adulthood, and decide to pursue the gang lifestyle, the criminal lifestyle, due to a lot of them growing up with these same exact types of upbringings that Tyrone Turner, the much younger version of Tyrone Turner in the movie Menace to Society, had, based upon his character as a little boy, due to all the toxicity they're always surrounded by. And my point of saying this and making this video is there are so many women, not just black women in particular, but women of other races, specifically black and white women, who choose to settle for these types of guys by the likes of a Kane and his homeboy Lorenz Tate, who played the role of Old Dog in the movie Menace to Society. This is one of the main reasons, although I mentioned how there are so many, not just black women, but women of other races who fall for these types of guys. But when it all comes down to it, this is also a big reason why there are so many single, angry, and bitter single moms, that is, due to how they always choose guys by the likes of either an Old Dog or a Kane. This is why, especially when it comes to the black American community, because black American women alone lead the U.S. in being the heads of households as parents. They lead the nation in being single parents as well, due to how so many of them choose guys by the likes of either an Old Dog, once again, Lorenz Tate's character in Menace to Society, or a Kane, Tyrone Turner's character. Those are the perfect case in points. Those two characters that both Lorenz Tate and Tyrone Turner played in Menace II Society, of how and why there are so many single, bitter, and angry mothers as I currently make this video. Guys who have done all kinds of heinous and criminal acts, from attempted murder to grand larceny and theft as portrayed in the movie, to drug trafficking, those types of offenses. The same types of guys, in most cases, who can't even much get a pretty decent job. They may be able to get a job working for the sanitation department, the city and sanitation department, due to how they, judging from my understanding, they could care less whether you may be a convicted felon or not, or the nature of the crime you may have done while being a convicted felon. That's one reason why you see so many guys working on the back of sanitation or dump trucks. Some guys who, if they had a choice, if they wouldn't have been able to get into the type of trouble they ended up getting into and could turn back the hands of time, they would prefer, these types of guys would prefer not to do jobs of that nature. Some of the most bottom of the totem pole jobs you could find, other than working at a grocery store, as either a person sacking groceries and pushing shopping carts, or being a cashier. Those are some of the most bottom. And let's not mention being at a restaurant, working a drive-through a restaurant, or cooking hamburgers at a restaurant. Those types of jobs are some of the main types of jobs you may see guys who may have done prison time working, and jobs that don't require any kind of high school, much less formal education. These are the main types of guys that not only the majority of women go for, and is a big part of why there are so many, once again, single, angry, so many even masculine women raising kids nowadays, due to these types of guys, to that caliber guys, once again, by the likes of an O-Dog, a Kane. Tell me, am I lying or not? Because pretty much everywhere you go, you see women, black women especially, in relationships with these types of guys. Although they do have better choices of guys to choose from within their very own race. Guys who are highly educated, guys who have ambition and goals, guys who know how to put a proper sentence together, guys who are some of the most intelligent guys they could settle for, guys who will make very wholesome husbands and fathers, guys who in some instances are clean cut, would be someone perfect, the perfect kinds of guys to introduce to their parents. However, so many women, especially black women in the black American community, pass over these guys. And I could go deeper than that. Some of these same women who would pass up those types of brothers, those types of black men, will go out there and get a guy of a completely different race. Some of the most corniest guys of a completely different race with the same kind of credentials will take pride in being with those types of guys, though. Only for those guys, the majority of guys who are not black, to not find the average black woman attractive. Otherwise, there will be more ratios of men of other races, more higher ratios of men of other races settling down to both marry and have kids when black women. This movie, once you were to see, for some of you who may not know about this movie, and I will attach the link in the description box, it still applies to what we see in today's society. Even if this movie is over 32 years old, the movie came out back in 93, I believe the summer of 93, it still applies to what happens in everyday life and in everyday relationships, on behalf of why you see so many angry and bitter single women who have to take the role and take on the role and being both the mother in most cases, due to femininity and due to it being so many masculine women in this day and age who have to take on the role of the father's role while having kids, and due to how so many men avoid the responsibility of being fathers to their kids. And then if you think about how in the movie Jada Pinkett Smith, how she had a son who happened to be 4, 5, 6 years old, and Tyrone Turner took on the role of raising her son. At one way, I never forget, after Tyrone Turner, the one who played Kane in the movie, asked Jada Pinkett about her son's real father. Jada Pinkett Smith she subliminally said how the real father happened to be a menace to society, without coming out and saying it happened to be a criminal, because she said that he was, while incarcerated, lifting weights, working out, making a habit out of working out and reading books. I put 2 and 2 together. I mean, this movie is deep. This movie has some pretty disturbing scenes due to how he's feeling when so much violence, especially black on black gun violence, which still is prevalent until today. Anyways, and nevertheless, I'm going to conclude this video. And like always, before I conclude it for good, make sure to like, share, comment, last but not least, and I'm sorry for stumbling across my words, which I had a tendency to do from time to time. Last but not least, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'm out.